So here we're looking at multiplying algebra. The first thing we're going to do is just look at why this is the case and then what rules to use. So we want to do 4 times 3x, which means I need 4 groups of 3x. So I can have one group of 3x, 2, 3, 4 groups of 3x. Now, if you would add this up, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 4 times 3x has to be 12x. The same thing with 5 times 2x. 1 of them, 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them. And this has to therefore be 10x. We'll do y in a moment. With these next things here, we want to do 4x times 2x. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the multiplication symbols back in. So this is 4 times x times 2 times x. Notice the difference between the multiplication symbols and the x's. You have to make sure they're drawn different. Now, because these are all multiplication symbols, I can rearrange them so the numbers are together. So I can have 4 times 2 at the front. So I've used that and I've used that. Then a times x and another times x. If I then look at this, I've got 4 times 2, which is 8, and x times x is written as x squared. 5xy times negative 2x, again I'm going to write it with the multiplication symbols in, 5 times x times y times negative 2 times x. Bring the numbers together at the front, 5 times negative 2 times x times x times y, 5 times negative 2, negative 10, x times x, x squared, y is y. When you get really good at these, you can go straight from this step to that, but while we're practicing them, we want to make sure we put every step in there so we know what's going on. Last one, 3a squared b is written as 3 times a squared times b times 10 times a times b times c. Rewrite it with the numbers at the front, 3 times 10 times a squared times a, and I've used that, I've used that, I've used that, I've used that, times b, use that, times b, times c. Now, as I know, a squared is a times a, 3 times 10 is 30, a squared times another a is a times a, which is a to the power of 3. B times b is b squared. I don't need that times symbol in there anymore. And c on the end. Now, the rules to this and what you need to know, and a really good thing to have down in your notebook, are these your steps. Write the equation with the multiplication symbols in it, like I've done here, then rearrange it so the numbers are at the front and the same letters are together. You multiply the numbers, and then you add the powers of the letters. So if this was x1 and x1, 1 plus 1 is 2. And we add the powers of the letters because, say here, if I've got a squared times a, which I know is a cubed, this is because a squared is a times a, then the times a on the end, and a times a times a is a cubed. So we can write it out the long way like this, or we can use this shortcut here to help us out. One final example, just to make sure that we can do it using these rules. So we're going to write it first with the multiplication symbols in there. 2 times a squared times b cubed. First part times 5 times a times b for the second part, times 2 times a cubed for the third part. Then rewrite it with your numbers at the front. Use the 2 times 5 times 2. Then the same letters together. I've got an a squared. I've got an a cubed. And I've got an a. And I've got a b cubed and a b. Good thing to cross them out as you're going, because that way you know you've used every single part. Now if I work the numbers out, 2 times 5 is 10, times by 2 is 20. A, we got squared and cubed and power of 1, so 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 1 is 6. And b cubed and 1 is b to the power of 4. When you know the rules, you can do these an awful lot quicker.